Hi guys, welcome back to another video here today. I've got my Premier League predictions, look back at last week's video, look back look into the future for this weekend's games. As you see, I've got a new setup here. Not going to be sat down anymore, going to be stood up with my all Leeds. We specially ordered on the Leeds United website, so got that coming with some baby clothes as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. So the first game was Chelsea versus Man City. Again, apologies if I look down at my phone. It's just double checking stuff as I go. But yeah, so I had that game as 2-1 to Chelsea. It ended up being 1-0 Man City. Really interesting. Sort of gives a bit more of a feel of what the season's going to be like. You know, the top four is going to be really interesting now. Everyone on 13 points essentially. I think Liverpool might be on 14 after that draw against Brentford, but we'll get into that. So yeah, interesting. I really like the fact that Man City won. I said Chelsea would win, but that's because I think they're going to win the league, and I think they still will. But I really like how close this top of the table clash is. Man United versus Aston Villa. Now this was probably the most interesting game, or one of the most interesting games of the weekend. I said it was going to be 1-1. Villa ended up winning 1-0. The best part was at the end, Bruno Fernandes taking the penalty, which I understand he's actually better at pens, I think, and he's been scoring penalties for Man United, so it makes sense for him to take it, but obviously he's skying it over the bar. Last minute of the game, right at the end of the game, skies over the bar, and you can see Ronaldo quite visibly annoyed with the situation. You know, Aston Villa are such a good team now. You know, they've done really well moving players on and reinvesting that money really smartly, you know, really wisely. So, buzzing Man United lost, obviously, as a Leeds fan, but at the same time, it's making that top four battle really interesting. I don't know, you know, I think Chelsea, but you just don't know who's going to end up on top. Liverpool proving they're better this year than what people thought they were going to be. Man United with signing Ronaldo, Man City with just Man City being Man City, and Chelsea signing Lukaku. It's a really interesting dynamic at the top, and I'm really enjoying it. But it's always nice to see these teams like Aston Villa come in and just shake it up a little bit. Then we move on to Leicester versus Burnley. Now I had this as a Leicester 2-0 win. Ended up being 2-2. So it's always going to be tough versus Burnley. I know that Burnley, you know, some people say the Turf Moor thing. I know this wasn't played at Turf Moor, but some people say this is it's not a real thing. But Burnley are really hard to break down. You know, they can score when they're feeling it. You know, with Wood and Barnes and me and Tarkowski all can score goals from corners and set pieces. They're really dangerous, and they're difficult to score against. So, you know, I did think Leicester would win this game. They did score 2 goals like I predicted. I just didn't think Burnley would put 2 past them. But, you know, that's the nature of the beast in the Premier League at times. And every team's got the quality to score at will. So, good point for Burnley, not so much for Leeds. But, you know, Leicester not really showing as much as what I thought this year. They're okay, but, you know, they've got to push into those European spots. I think they've got to show a little bit more. Norwich and Everton, so I predicted that to be 3-0, end up 2-0, so I wasn't too far off. Not really much to say on that result. It's Norwich being Norwich and Everton being Everton. I think you know, Everton have proven that they're a good side this year, dangerous side as usual. Another clean sheet for them, which is always good. And Norwich just looking like they're going to be that team that ends up on the bottom of the ladder this year. Leeds versus West Ham. Now, I don't usually do the Leeds games on this video. Usually I do a separate video, but I haven't had a chance to do any videos this week on the post-match. So I'll do the Leeds versus West Ham reaction video now. So, ended up 2-1 to West Ham. I felt really devastated after this game. Being 1-0 up, we played a lot better than West Ham in the first half. We really started to look like Leeds of old. So a bit of it was a bit of a bittersweet sort of moment for me in that game where, look, did we deserve to lose? No. Did West Ham deserve 3 points? No. We deserved at least a point. You know, the first goal was just a deflection off Cooper, then Firpo, unlucky. Second goal was a good goal, so I'm not taking it off them. You know, a draw probably could have been fair. I thought we deserved the 3 points, but what I really liked is the fact that we showed that we are capable of playing the way we did last year, and that this might just be a poor start and we might start to get a run of games going. We've got some really tough games coming up, which I'll touch on. Sorry, some tough but winnable games coming up, and I'll touch on that on my Friday video when I preview this weekend's game for Leeds. But yeah, overall, look, it was a bit of a bittersweet moment. I would have loved to have got the 3 points, but it is what it is, and that's the Premier League, and West Ham are just a quality side, and you can never count them out, and Mikel Antonio comes up and scores the winner. Watford versus Newcastle. I had this 1-0 and it ended up 1-0, so I got this one, the big green tick on this one for both. Look, I just thought Newcastle likely to score maybe one goal. I thought Watford, they're probably about the same sort of level. They're going to be in the bottom half of the ladder. They're going to be where, I don't know, maybe just surviving relegation, maybe in that relegation battle. So it just made sense for it to be a draw. Yeah, not much else to say about that result. This is what it is. I'm not too sure what to think about Watford. They've had some decent results, but they've also had some weird results. So I don't know. I don't really know where to put them in the context of the season. But we'll see what happens. Newcastle again. Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll drop off. I think they're going to really struggle again. Brentford versus Liverpool. I had this as 2-0 to Liverpool. I thought they'd keep that streak going, but they didn't. It ended up being a 3-goal thriller. Splitting the points between each other, 1 point each, 3 goals and 3 goals. Liverpool probably had more opportunities to put Brentford away and let them back into it, more so than Brentford just playing up to Liverpool's level. But it's a bit of a blip. In the end, it still got Liverpool to the top of the ladder. And again, I think they got the tactics wrong on the day. I think they just didn't. I don't think they gave Brentford the respect that they deserved. We could see that they're quite a good side coming into the game. I'm still waiting for the Brentford drop off. I think there will be a Brentford drop off. I think they're riding high at the moment, but we'll see what happens. I just don't know about Brentford just yet, but I think Liverpool's going to make that top 3 spot this year, and hopefully they go all the way, because they're my favourite. Like, I lived in Liverpool for 3 months, so they're probably my favourite team out of those top sides. I do sort of support them when Leeds aren't in the Premier League, but when Leeds are back, I can't help but hate everyone but Leeds. But I sort of support them. But living there for 3 months and having family of Scousers, as well as my Yorkshire family, I've always got a soft spot for Liverpool. So I'm hoping that they win out of those top 4 sides. Southampton versus Wolves. I predicted this to be 1-1, ended up being 1-0 to Wolves. What I will say is I did predict Jimenez to get on the score sheet for the first time this week. He looked a lot more like himself. He's really starting to come into his own after that injury, and I'm buzzing for the lad, because what he went through was you wouldn't wish that on any footballer. So I'm really buzzing for Jimenez. Not buzzing because we've got to play him soon, so I'm hoping that they struggle. I think that was a good result for Wolves. Southampton again, now I'm back on the fence of not sure of what Southampton. I'm not sure what sort of team Southampton are. I don't know if they're going to be mid-table or above. I don't know. I'm not too sure, because I've had some really good results against good teams, and then they've dropped points like against Wolves. So they seem to be. It depends on what Southampton you get on the weekend as to what result you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the Southampton that got the draw against Man City and Man United, or the Southampton that lost to Wolves. So they're going to be a bit of a funny one. Hopefully they drop off. I'm hoping that they end up below Leeds, because right now there's not much going for Leeds supporters at the moment. So I'm hoping there's just worse teams than Leeds. Arsenal versus Tottenham. I had this as 2-0. It ended up 3-1 to Arsenal. I had it 2-0 Tottenham, and Arsenal won 3-1. What a statement. This went one of either way, 2 ways. It was going to be Arsenal lose, and the narrative is that they had a poor start to the season because they had difficult games, but then they still couldn't get results going. But they really did make it a situation where the other side where it was unlucky at the start. It was just difficult games. They've lost the first 3 games. The Brentford game made sense. It was just a perfect concoction of all the things put together. But the main thing is they went on and got 9 points from game 4, 5 and 6. And their narrative is a lot better than the Tottenham narrative now, who Tottenham have now conceded 9 goals in 3 games and only scored 1. They look really poor. They lost to Palace 3-0, Chelsea 3-0, and now they've lost 3-1 to Arsenal. Is Harry Kane a bit of a... Is he hindering this side? When Harry Kane wasn't there, they looked decent. I'm starting to think maybe he's a hindrance. And I said in the last video, I don't rate him that much because I do think he's lazy. I do think it relies too much on him. And like I said, it's not that he's a bad striker. Clearly he's world class, but it relies way too much on him. Whereas before, without him, it seems like they work better as a team. I don't know. Leave your comments below what you think about Tottenham and where they sit and what your predictions for Tottenham and Arsenal, where they'll be in the league this year. And the last game was Palace versus Brighton. I had this as 2-0 to Brighton. End up 1-1. Just a drab draw in the end. Interesting. Palace looking like a half-decent side again after getting beat by Liverpool. But Brighton sort of getting... you'd expect Brighton to win that game more than Palace. But Palace showing a bit more than Brighton maybe. I'm not too sure. But look, we'll see what happens if Brighton can bounce back and keep that run going. Because if they keep going the way they're going, they will be a top side this year. And there'll be teams really struggling to beat them. So we'll see how Brighton bounce back. We'll see if Palace can keep it going, because Vieira's sort of proven me wrong so far. Like, they had the players there. I just didn't know if it was going to all come together. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And now my favourite part of the video, predicting this week's games. So again, I'll be looking down at my phone, so I make sure I'm getting it all right. So Man United versus Everton. I actually think this is going to be a draw. I think this is going to be a 2-2 draw. I think Everton's going to get some goals. Yeah, it'll either be a 2-2 draw or Man United will snatch it like 2-1. But I'm hoping for a 2-2 draw. Ronaldo will score because he's inevitable. I saw someone say that you're basically starting the game at 1-0 because Ronaldo is pretty much guaranteed to score. So I think it'll be 2-2. I'm hoping for a 2-2. If someone's more likely to win it, I'd say it's more Man United. But I'm going to go 2-2 because I just want to see Man United drop points. Chelsea versus Southampton. I'm hoping for where Leeds are. I'm hoping Southampton drop points. I'm hoping Chelsea beat them. I'm going to go with a 2-1 result for Chelsea. I think they'll bounce back after losing to City. And I'll make it 3-1. I think they're going to really put Southampton to the sword and make a statement after losing to City. Wolves versus Newcastle. After the result against Southampton, I'm going to say Wolves will win that one 2-0. Actually, no, they're struggling to score goals. I'll go 1-0 again. I think Newcastle will struggle to break Wolves down. And I think that Jimenez will get on the score sheet again because he's getting some confidence. He'll be really confident after that goal on the weekend. So yeah, I'll say 1-0 there. Burnley versus Norwich. I couldn't think of a more boring game. 1-0 Burnley, I'd say. I don't think Norwich have shown anything. They may pick up their first win of the season, which will be scary for us. But I think Burnley will be too difficult to break down for such a poor strike force and midfield. And I think it'll be 1-0 Burnley. I think Chris Wood will snatch a winner because he'll be difficult to deal with with a poor back line. Yeah, 1-0. We'll go Leeds versus Watford. So this one's the one I'm going to review on Friday. I will say this is must win. We have to beat Watford. There is no excuses now. We said that against Burnley. We didn't do it. We said against Newcastle. We didn't do it. West Ham was a let-off and we should have won the game. So hopefully we get that form. We take against Watford and I think we can beat them. We beat them quite comfortably. But again, I'll explain that on my Friday video. Brighton versus Arsenal. I'm going to say 1-1. I think Arsenal are going to be really confident after the Tottenham game. I'm thinking Brighton might be a little shell-shocked after only getting a draw, but I think both teams are sort of sat around about the same in the league. I think they're going to be the same sort of level team. Arsenal's still got some quality around the park, so yeah, I'm going to say 1-1 on that one. Tottenham versus Villa. Villa's a really good side. Tottenham are struggling, so I'm going to say 2-1 Villa. Harry Kane will get on the score sheet, but I'm going to say 2-1 Villa. I think Emi Buendia will play really well if he's playing. So I don't keep up with news, so I'm not too sure if he's playing, but Emi Buendia and Ollie Watkins will score. West Ham versus Brentford. I would have said West Ham, but after watching West Ham play against us, I know they still had some quality special moments, but we were the better side. I'm going to say, and Brentford did well against Liverpool. I'll say 2-1 West Ham. I think West Ham will still win, but I'm not too sure about that. That could be a 2-all draw. I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham win. Crystal Palace versus Leicester. Leicester not playing as well as I'd like them to, but I think they'll have enough for Crystal Palace. I'm going to say 2-0. No, actually, I think Crystal Palace can score. I'll go 2-1, just to be safe. I'll say 2-1 to Leicester City. And Liverpool versus Man City, the big game of the weekend. This is the one everyone will be tuning into. I'm going to say, unfortunately, I think that they are going to beat Liverpool, and I think they're going to beat them. I think it's going to be 3-2. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. I think it's going to be 3-2. I think Liverpool's scoring goals at the moment. They're going to be able to get at the back line of Man City, even though it's very strong. But Man City's able to score goals as well, so I'm going to say 3-2. Could be 3-2 either way, but I'm going to go 3-2 City. But I want Liverpool to win. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Let me know your predictions. Let me know what your thoughts on my predictions were. Maybe I got a couple wrong, maybe got some right. Leave a like, a subscribe would be fantastic. Sorry I didn't get a video out until now. I've been a little bit preoccupied with work and life in general. So yeah, if you like the video, chuck me a like and subscribe. Peace.